Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the EDI Jester. How are we, good people? One is feeling substantially better, which is helpful. And this morning, I'm on the Earl Grey. I'm doing a Picard. Make it so. Something wonderful about Earl Grey. Bergamot, what wonderful flavour. Anyway, enough of nonsense. Enough of my wibbling. Let's get cracking with today's topic at hand. Now, become a warrior teacher, okay? Cut-off date's coming up. So if you want to join us in October, now's the time. Right, next one will be set up for beginning in December and then one in January. So that's where we're going, I think, next. So we'll see. But buy me a coffee. You know the game by now. I don't have to tell you, do I? You'll see the adverts on the Twitteroids, right? So what we got today? Well, he says, right? There's an interesting tweet from the Family Education Trust. Now, some of you will be familiar with the Family Education Trust. Liz Truss. Twas ever twas, right? You'll know the Family Education Trust. Okay, they've been involved in the scrap against gender identity, provide information and guidance, and are generally all-round good eggs. I would say good eggs. Now, we send stuff to each other and banter occasionally on the old, messaging. But there is very little, I imagine, that the Family Education Trust, outside of this particular fight and row, that we would find commonality on. It doesn't stop us being bedfellows in this and going ahead and doing the damn thing, right? And getting the job done when it comes to gender identity, ideology, queer theory, and all the guff that comes with it, right? So, yeah, an ally, okay? A friend in the fight, the Family Education Trust. So I was opened up Twitter and they put up a tweet saying, good news, the online safety bill has passed. And I went off, like a sugar thermometer in an unmanned stove. So today is about the online safety bill, me, and the Family Education Trust, because I think it's always interesting when one comes across a situation in which you are both advocates for the end to gender identity, ideology, and queer theory, and all the nonsense that's going on, and the damage it's causing to children, particularly gay children, and to women and gay men and gay women. So that you come across this, we bump up against each other, There's like, here we go, right. So if none of this existed, I reckon the Family Education Trust and me would be at it hammer and tongs over this one, right? So I think it's interesting for us to look at when the Family Education Trust say online safety bill passed, really good news, that what the difference is philosophically between them and I on this point. And I think that's an interesting exercise worth carrying out. So that's why I'm here today. So I thought we'd have a go at that. I hope you're game. If not, buzz off and do something else. What's wrong with you following me? So click and subscribe. You know that click and subscribe thing? You can do that. You can do the click and subscribe thing. It's all right. So I've got the link for you. It's from msn.com, so Microsoft. The online safety bill has passed its last parliamentary hurdle in the House of Lords, meaning it will finally become law after years of delay. The flagship piece of legislation will force social media firms to remove illegal content and protect users, especially children, from material which is legal but harmful. Ta-da! Right, so here we go. First paragraph, I got a problem. Now, I have no problem with that they should force social media firms to remove illegal content. Yes, of course they should, right? In Hungary, where they passed a similar law to this, they've done that too. They've said, you remove content that's illegal, but you don't get to remove anything else. And that's the difference between what a progressive country like Hungary is doing and a backward-thinking country like Britain is doing. I'm waiting for the Family Education Trust to go off like a sugar thermometer on an unmanned stove, right? If it ain't illegal, it stays. Let's begin there, right, okay? Free speech. Sorry. Right, let's continue. Right? It says there, you see, protect children, protect people, protect users, especially children. Don't say just children. Especially children, from material which is legal but harmful. What? No, you don't get to do that, okay? Especially when it comes to kids, you can do it, but there's an easier way to do it than this. It's simple. No children under 16 on social media in Britain. What a radical idea. Shoving porn down kids' faces before they're 18 isn't a good idea. How about not having them on social media till they're 16? I don't say 18. because it's not the same as porn, is it? Social media, there's porn on it, but it's not the same. And you can put, guards and things on. But I would say pretty much 16, they can get on with it, right? They can go, here's your Facebook. They have it for their birthday. Here's your Twitter. Well, in 5 years' time, nobody will want it, I don't expect. But here's your Twitter. Here's your X. What have I got for my birthday? Facebook profile. Don't misuse it. Why not? If they want to solve the problem, that's what they do. Right? So Family Education Trust, first paragraph of the article in the Dubris. Explain it to me. Because we're not having some toxic parent and a different kind of toxic parent that's forcing the gender nonsense take their bloody place. No, not happening. On my watch. It is happening, obviously, because the law's passed, but the idea was conceived in a white paper in 2019, but it has been a long and rocky road to turn it into law, with delays and controversies over issues such as freedom of speech and privacy. Perhaps most controversially, here comes the real kicker. One of the proposals would force platforms like WhatsApp and Signal to undermine messaging encryption so private chats could be checked for criminal content. Right? Bear in mind, they've said to remove material that is not, wait for it, that is harmful but not illegal. So legal but harmful was their term, wasn't it? So, Family Trust, you and I have had a chat about ending gender. Who's going to decide? Who's going to decide? We know that many institutions are captured right across the board. You know it. You've said it, right? You've praised me on my videos saying it. You know as well as I do how this works. Technology Secretary Michelle Donnellan said, the online safety bill is a game-changing piece of legislation. You bet. Today, this government is taking an enormous step forward in the mission to make the UK the safest place in the world to be online. What's that got to do with you? Nothing. And since when is safety a good thing? If you're sat on your keyboard and you're online, you're safe. Right? Okay? This idea that hurty words, right? Now, you know as well as I do that doesn't apply to kids. Right? Which we've been saying all along. Family Education Trust and I agree on that. Okay? Children should not be accessing stuff about gender identity, ideology and queer theory. But they're not saying that it's illegal. They're saying that it's harmful. So go on, Family Education Trust. How many people do you think what we have to say is harmful? How many times have you seen stuff taken down from gender critical people like you and I? How many times have you seen people removed from YouTube? How many times have I had my stuff demonetised? Be careful what you wish for, folks. Be careful what you wish for. Safety? Buzz off, you interfering toxic parent. Social media bosses could face jail. It's insane. It's utterly draconian and utterly insane. It's just another type of toxic parent. The answer to people being safe online is education, not punishment. Right? So think about it that way. Okay, so you've got punishment. Let's think about the toxic parents we have to deal with. The gender ideologues, the queer theorists, the indoctrinators in schools. They have this kind of nicey way of doing it. Actually, it's all about being kind. And then the other kind is if you do this, you're going to go to jail. Tell me that's not a toxic parent, just two sides of the different coin. They're both a toxic parent. I'm sorry, you're wrong about this. Angry yet? The bill will require social media companies to remove illegal content quickly, good, and prevent it from appearing in the first place, including content promoting self-harm. It's not illegal to promote self-harm, is it? Since when is that illegal? Communications regulator Ofcom will be largely responsible. Oh, here we go. Ofcom, as if they aren't captured. For the love of God! I know what we'll do, we said, in our rush to get everything right. Let's put what's wrong and what's right in the hands of an organisation that is a quango, that is run by a government, that is obsessed with control and has not even been able to stop the lunatic idea that males are female from getting right across our culture. Oh, that's really going to go down well, isn't it? They face fines of billions of pounds. If it's illegal content, they should face fines for not taking it down. The bill has created new criminal offences, including cyber flashing and the sharing of deep fake pornography. There we go. Right, okay. How's that going to work? And who do you think they're going to get? The people that make it? Or the innocent, bloke who's sharing it? Or the innocent woman that said, this is funny. Have you seen what they've done to Ina Sharples? Who do you think they're going to go for? Right? Can you imagine pornography? Think on, Minnie Caldwell. Right? It's so undefined, it's insane. How can you be behind this? Get yourselves a VPN, folks, because you're going to need it. Believe me, they aren't going to go looking for, they're producing deep pornography on a grand scale. No, they're not. No, they're not. It will just become something else they can hit people with. Honest to God, this is nuts, right? I don't think people should be bloody cyber flashing. That definitely should be. So I take a picture of me meat and veg and I send it to some unsuspecting person. Here we go. Should be a crime. The legislation has received widespread support from charities like the NSPCC. Oh my God, come on! Safety group, the Internet Watch Foundation, bereaved parents who say harmful online content contributed to their child's death, and sexual abuse survivors. I understand fully why those people have a vested interest in having this, but this is no excuse for such a draconian piece of legislation. I'm sorry. It's not. It's not. I wish life was easy. I wish we could make it all go away, but we can't. There have been concerns that it is simply too far-reaching, potentially to the point of threatening free speech. Tech companies criticise proposed rules for reporting legal but harmful content, suggesting it would make them unfairly liable for material on their platforms. Ms Donnellan removed this measure from the bill in an amendment last year. So she took that bit I was ranting about at the beginning, they've removed from the bill, right? Which said that instead of platforms removing legal but harmful content, they will have to provide adults with tools to hide certain material they do not wish to see. Well, they already do. They already do. Right? There's not only do they provide it, there's a myriad raft of them. God, I remember years ago when I was first on the internet, because I was one of the first people on it, there was a thing called Net Nanny, right? You just installed it and it stopped it all. They still exist, right? So that's the parent going, well, actually, just buzz off. This includes content that does not, right, so they will be able to hide things they don't want to see. This includes content that does not meet the criminal threshold but could be harmful, such as the glorification of eating disorders, misogyny, and some other forms of abuse. They've stuck misogyny in there, haven't they? Careful. Careful. It should say, this includes content that does not meet the criminal threshold but could be harmful, such as the glorification of trans identities, eating disorders, misogyny, and some other forms of abuse. I still wouldn't want it. But after backlash from parents, she stressed the bill still tasks companies with protecting children from not just illegal content, but any material which can cause serious trauma, like cyberbullying, by enforcing age limits and age-checking measures. I've got no issue with it. If somebody's being bullied, find the bullies. And then you bully them, because that's how you deal with a bully. We fired around with this stuff for years, haven't we? Years in schools. Right? You want to deal with a bully? Bully it. Quietly, out the way, when nobody can see. Listen here, you little shit. You're going to start behaving yourself or I'll hang you up by your Buster Browns. NSPCC Chief Executive Sir Peter Wanless said, "We are absolutely delighted." Are you? I imagine you are. To see the online safety bill being passed through Parliament. It is a momentous day for children and will finally result in the groundbreaking protections they should expect online. It's got nothing to do with children. You think this is going to be used just to protect children? Then you are living in cloud cuckoo land. We cannot have a society in which, right, the state or a funded body of the state decides what is okay and what is not okay. The line that's drawn is illegality, right? Illegality. What we need to do is classify bullying as harassment from the time you are 10, right? And that should be taught in schools at that point. That's harassment. And then, if necessary, you can jail them. Stop fannying about. Now, on the other hand, organisations should be saying, no, I think it should be 16 for social media. Jonathan Knight would agree with me. You ask any of us that are involved in this scrap what's causing the mental health crisis. Well, there's two things. First of all, I think we've got a mental health sales drive, so they're pushing their products. And secondly, the mental health crisis is caused by social media. Lack of human interaction, lack of education. Education's the silver bullet, folks, right? You cannot have a law which has fluffy edges that allow the power of the day or those that pester the power of the day to decide what is harmful but not legal. The law should state that if it is legal content, it must be removed. However, the removal of non-illegal content should also garner a fine. This is a bad bill done for the best of reasons, and it ain't going to achieve what you think it is, because most of the stuff that they want to take off, your average teenager can get round in 30 seconds. So to the Family Education Trust, I issue you a challenge. Prove me wrong. I'll see you later, peeps.